In this lecture, I am going to talk about bandpass system where the input is a bandpass signal. So, grid draw. Okay. So you have a bandpass system. And its impulse response is h of t, and the input is a signal x of t, and this is a bandpass signal. This is the output y of t. Now let us try to understand how the theory that you have developed so far, that which is used to represent the bandpass signal, and how the bandpass signal will interact with the bandpass systems. So far we have looked at signals and systems purely in terms of it could be any signals or it could be any system. But now we are taking specific example, specific case where the input is a bandpass signal and the system also a bandpass signal. Till now we did not consider this specific case. And while dealing with such a systems, how can we make it easy to deal with such a systems? That is our concern here. Let's say the bandpass system has an impulse response h of t, impulse response. So you are feeding an input signal x of t, which is bandpass in nature. So you are familiar with the bandpass filter, right? It will pass a certain set of frequency components in the neighborhood of the some center frequency. So bandpass filter always operates around a center frequency called f naught. If it doesn't have any frequency components in the neighborhood, the output of the filter will be identically 0. So it makes sense that if the input signal also, let's say it has a bandpass signal in the same neighborhood, so in the same neighborhood it has non-zero contribution, and far away from the center frequency it has 0 contribution. So and we want to shape the spectrum of the input signal by passing it through this bandpass filter. So y of t is output, and how the output signal shape would be when you pass the bandpass signal through a bandpass system. So you say, what is a big deal, because if I know h of t, if I know x of t, I can find y of t by convolving x of t with h of t, because that is a typical procedure that we will do for a linear time invariant system. So y of t is equal to x of t convolved with the h of t. What is a big deal in this? Simply you can do it. Now what I am saying here is, I know both h of t and x of t. They are essentially bandpass in nature. So they may have this quadrature representation that we just discussed in the last lecture. So x of t is a bandpass signal in the quadrature representation, that is in phase component xi of t cos of 2 pi f naught t minus x q of t quadrature component times quadrature carrier sin 2 pi f naught t. If I use this representation, is there any benefit that we will gain in this process? So this representation I probably forgot to mention, that is usually known by the name of standard form for bandpass signal representation. Now if you take its analytical expression xp of t, it is the frequency translated version of a complex low pass signal x tilde of t times e to the j 2 pi f naught t, and this has a name called complex envelope representation. I forgot to tell you this name for this particular representation. So if I talk about a complex envelope representation, it is this one, where x tilde of t is called complex envelope now. Also, if you take modulus xp of t, which is equal to x tilde of t, you say this is real and this is also real. So the real envelope xp of t and x tilde of t, both of them are the same. And this one is called quadrature standard form, standard notation or quadrature representation. Quadrature representation. Now you have a bandpass system, then the impulse response is h of t, input is x of t and the output is y of t. So h of t itself has a complex envelope representation, like we have complex representation, no? Like that for h of t also we have some complex representation, because h of t is also in bandpass nature, because it's a bandpass filter, right? We are talking about bandpass system and its impulse response is h of t, that itself has a bandpass in nature. Therefore, for h of t I can construct an analytical expression for that. Let me call hp of t. hp of t is h of t plus j times Hilbert transform of h of t. Okay. Now I can think this hp of t as some frequency translated version of its low pass signal, let's say h tilde of t times e to the j2 pi f naught t. Now one can ask a question, how can I get back h of t from this hp of t? So h of t is equal to real part of hp of t. What is hp of t? hp of t is given here. So real part of h tilde of t times e to the j2 pi f naught t. What is h tilde of t? It is in low pass, let's say impulse response. Okay, so it's a fairly mechanical procedure. Okay, I am just repeating what I have already said for x of t. So whatever we did for x of t, the same thing I am repeating for h of t. Okay, and one more thing, here also I am keeping the frequencies f naught. In the standard bandpass representation, here also I am keeping the frequencies f naught, because the input signal as well as the system both are operating at the same center frequency. Therefore, your y of t is equal to x of t convolved with the h of t. Now you replace this convolution operation by convolution integral. Let's say h of lambda times x of t minus lambda times d lambda. Now what is h of t? h of t is equal to real part of h tilde of t e to the j2 pi f naught t and x of t equal to real part of x tilde of t times e to the j2 pi f naught t. Substitute these two guys here in this expression. Okay, let's go through this process. Okay, it is fairly mechanical process. Okay, so please be careful. Now, how can I simplify this? Before substituting to this convolution integral, let me simplify this. How can I write h of t from this expression? Recall, if you have a complex number, let's say z equal to a plus ib, what is its complex conjugate? Z star equal to a minus ib. Now what is a? A is a real part of z. So how do you find the real part of z? Real part of z is z plus z complex conjugate by 2, isn't it? So z is a plus ib plus a minus ib whole divided by 2. This b, this and that will get cancelled. Then and 2a plus a 2a by 2 will get cancelled, a will get, that a is nothing but the real part of z. So therefore whenever you have the complex quantity like this, then this h of t I can write as 1 by 2, its real part. Okay, so that complex number h tilde of t times e to the j 2 pi f naught t plus 1 half h of t e to the h tilde of t e to the j 2 pi f naught t complex conjugate, like this. So this is my h of t. Okay, so that is h of t. So this is a complex conjugate of the first part. Okay, this is the first part, and let's say this is the second part, and this one is first part. Second part is the complex conjugate of the first part. Let me put cc. Cc means complex conjugate of the first part. Therefore h of t I can write as 1 half h tilde of t e to the j 2 pi f naught t plus complex conjugate of the first part. Similarly, I can write for band pass signal also, it is 1 half x tilde of t e to the j 2 pi f naught t plus complex conjugate. Now you substitute this h of t and x of t in your convolution integral. What is your y of t? Y of t is integral of h of lambda x of t minus lambda d lambda. Now substitute here. So this is going to be 1 by 2 h tilde of lambda e to the j 2 pi f naught lambda plus cc multiply by 1 half x tilde of t minus lambda e to the j 2 pi f naught t minus lambda multiply by d lambda. Now there are 4 terms, right? Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. No, let me choose a different color. Maybe this color. Okay, so this is the, let's say, first component, and this one is second component. This one is, I'm sorry, one more component I forgot here. Let me write down. Third component plus complex conjugate, and then d lambda. Therefore this is going to be the fourth component. So if you multiply term by term before you're doing the integration, minus infinity plus infinity, I will try to put in the single screen. Okay, now there are 4 terms. You multiply term by term. 1 multiplies with 3, and 1 multiplies with 4, 2 multiplies with 3, and 2 multiplies with 4 terms. So there are 4 product terms. Multiply term by term, and here 1 by 2, and here also 1 by 2. You pull out those 1 by 2 outside. So which is equal to 1/4 integral of minus infinity to plus infinity. Let me multiply 1 and 3 first. So h tilde of lambda times x tilde of t minus lambda. Then here I have e power j 2 pi f naught t, and here also I have e power j 2 pi f naught t times minus lambda. So both will get cancelled. Then you will get e to the j 2 pi f naught t. Okay. Then again you will get another term, okay, complex conjugate. So let me call this is first term and second term, 1 with 4. This is 1 with 3, first term with the third term. Okay, plus one more term plus 1/4. No, the second term is complex conjugate of the first term. This is complex conjugate of this term. Which term? This term. I mean, I can write down, but anyway it's not necessary. It's repetition, simply repetition. And if you multiply 1 and 4, then maybe I'll compress so that you can see 1 and 4, then h tilde of lambda times x conjugate of t minus lambda e to the power of j 4 pi f naught lambda times d lambda plus e to the minus j 2 pi f naught t, because it is a constant. You are doing the integration with respect to lambda, plus complex conjugate of this guy. Sorry. Complex conjugate. So I am using different notation. This is let me call this A, and this one is B, and this one is C term, and this is the D term. The D term is the complex conjugate of the C term, and the B term is the complex conjugate of the A term. Okay. Now let us evaluate this integral one by one. There are 4 integrals now essentially. For A integral, B integral, C integral and D integral. B integral is the complex conjugate of A integral, and D integral is the complex conjugate of the C integral. And this one is obtained by multiplying the first term, let me use first term with the fourth term. The first term is here, this one, and the fourth term is here. If you multiply those two terms, I will get this one, C term. Now what can you say about the C term, C integral? Okay, can you say something about the C integral? Because you are doing the integration with respect to e to the j 4 pi f naught lambda. The integration is with respect to lambda. Maybe let me write down separately the C integral. The C integral is 1 over 4 integral minus infinity to plus infinity h tilde of lambda x conjugate of t minus lambda. This is also tilde here, okay, don't forget. That's it. Any other mistake? No. Here also tilde. This tilde indicates a low pass signal, that's it. Low pass means it is slowly varying signal, that's all. That's what I mean. E to the j 4 pi e to the j 4 pi f naught lambda d lambda. This is a constant. You can bring out e to the j 2 pi f naught t. Now how will you simplify this integration? Think for a while, because through mathematically you cannot solve this. You need to think in terms of conceptually so that you can get the result. Now Let me use some other color. You take this term and this term and this term. There are three terms. Let me call this is alpha and this is beta and this is gamma. Okay, now look at this alpha term, h tilde of lambda. Okay, so look at this part, h tilde of lambda, alpha part. Okay, and concentrate on gamma part. Okay, so h tilde of lambda is a low pass signal. Similarly, x tilde is beta term is x tilde conjugate of t minus lambda is also a low pass signal. Okay, so that means it is slowly varying like this. Now this signal is multiplied by this guy. What is that guy? E to the j 4 pi f naught. Frequency is 2 f naught. So I'm sorry. The frequency is 2 f naught. Now multiply this and that. Let's say this is your h tilde of lambda times x tilde of lambda, just for the sake of argument. And this is your e to the real part of e to the j 4 pi f naught. Okay. You take real part of this, then you'll get this one. Okay. Now you multiply this and that. So h tilde of t x conjugate tilde of t times e to the j 4 pi f naught t. You take real part of that, then you will get a cos of 4 pi f naught t, just for the sake of argument. So therefore what happens, you have a slowly varying signal like this, and here there are many cycles like this. So I did not draw the figure very clearly, please kindly bear with me. Now what you do is you do the integration cycle by cycle. You take one cycle first of all. Okay, let me take one cycle first. Let me start from here, this cycle and this cycle, this half cycle. So if you take this, let me enlarge this, and if you look at here, in this point it is constant, roughly constant, and here also it is constant, the signal is constant. If you do the integration, then this area, the shaded area, will cancel this shaded area, this area. Therefore cycle by cycle, half cycle by half cycle, if you integrate, you will get a 0. And then take the next half cycle, this half cycle and this half cycle, if you integrate, again you will get 0. And then take the next half cycle, this one and this one, because in this interval the signal does not change, it is like a sine wave. Therefore cycle by cycle, if you integrate, then you will finally end up with a 0. Okay, so I am integrating from minus infinity to plus infinity. So integrate half cycle by half cycle, and the same argument can be repeated, and therefore it boils down to saying that this integral, where is it? Yeah, this integral leads to 0, because you have the low pass signal and this also low pass signal multiplied by a high frequency carrier, complex exponential. Therefore that integral will lead to a 0 value. So basically the argument that we give here is based on the fact that there is a low pass signal h tilde of lambda and x conjugate tilde of t minus lambda, and there is a high frequency band pass signal, that is carrier e to the j 4 pi f naught lambda. Okay, half cycle by half cycle, if you integrate, the integral is 0. So this kind of argument is very useful in communication theory. Otherwise, you get stuck. You get stuck with integrals, which you cannot evaluate actually. So half cycle by half cycle, the integral becomes 0. So we are assuming here slow enough. The low pass signal is varying very slowly. Okay, so therefore you can come to this conclusion, approximation. So that over one cycle of this e to the j 4 pi f naught t, the low pass signal h tilde of lambda and x tilde of conjugate of t minus lambda more or less constant. That's what I mean. So in this region it is more or less constant. Constant. So therefore over one cycle the integral is 0. Repeat this argument for every cycle, therefore the integral becomes 0. So therefore the third term is going to be 0 in the out of 4 terms. See, the C term is 0. Now what about the D term? This is also be 0. Why? Because it's a complex conjugate of that. So the D term also 0. Only the first term and the second term survives. So therefore basically we left with the first two terms, A term and B term. So let me write down this A and B term here. Your y of t is equal to 1/4 integral of h tilde of lambda times x tilde complex conjugate of t minus lambda e to the j 4 pi f naught lambda into d lambda plus complex conjugate, and this is the complex conjugate of this term. One second, please hold on. There is some slight confusion here. I think some mistake I have done. I don't know which mistake. Let me figure it out. Yeah, it's correct only. There is no mistake. I thought of this one is not lambda. That is a problem. So this is wrong. This one is wrong. Look at here. If you A term, in the A term, where is it? This is d lambda, and here the exponent is with respect to t. Okay, therefore the A term is going to be, this is wrong actually, 1/4 h tilde of lambda x conjugate tilde of t minus lambda. This is e to the j 2 pi f naught lambda, not lambda, t. Let me, t times d lambda. So this is a constant term with respect to integration. You can pull out of the integral. E to the j 2 pi f naught t divided by 4 integral of h tilde of lambda times x conjugate tilde of t minus lambda d lambda. Now there you go. Now what is this? This is the convolution of h tilde of t convolved with the x tilde of t. Therefore the final result is going to be y of t is going to be h tilde of t convolved with the x tilde complex conjugate of t multiply by e to the j 2 pi f naught t divided by 4. Now you take the real part to get the output. Okay, so you are taking the real part of this one and adding to this. So now let me define real part of that is equal to, let us say, y tilde of t times e to the j 2 pi f naught t, where y tilde of t is equal to h tilde of t convolved with the x tilde of t, x complex conjugate tilde of t. So this is a result which has been a lesson for us. The most important lesson which I want to talk about in this discussion is that you could have avoided all these lengthy integrations, right? No need to do convolution, multiply this term, that time, this term, that time, and 4 terms, and argue this and that. Directly you can get the result. How will you get the result? You first take y of t, y tilde of t, which is equal to h tilde of t, low pass version of your band pass impulse response, convolved with a low pass version of your band pass signal, x tilde of t, convolved with, you will get y tilde of t, and then multiply with e to the j 2 pi f naught t, and then take real part. Simple, right? The first step is do this, second step is multiply with this e to the j 2 pi f naught t, and the third step is take the real part of this step. That's all. Very simply you can get the result instead of going through this lengthy calculation. Okay, so look at here, it is very messy and lengthy calculations. There are many items: first integral, second integral, third integral, fourth integral, a integral, b integral. So these kind of things not needed. Okay, so you could have avoided all these lengthy integrations, okay, that we have just gone through. So if we had recognized this fact, and this is what I was trying to say in the beginning, so I do not have to carry out the convolution of the band pass signal with the band pass impulse response. So the moral of the story is don't do convolution with band pass signal with band pass filter impulse response, because it is very lengthy integrations, because it involves lengthy integration. Okay, therefore no need to do this kind of convolution of band pass signal with the band pass impulse response. So I could as well do the convolution directly by using complex low pass representation. Okay, so what is this? This is the complex low pass representation of band pass filter. Complex low pass representation of band pass filter. And what is this guy? Complex low pass representation of what? Band pass signal. So directly you can convolve, okay, don't work in the band pass system because it involves a lengthy calculation, lengthy integration. So it would be obviously low pass signal. Okay, once you do this convolution, you'll get y tilde of t, and y tilde of t is obviously a complex low pass representation of output. which is h tilde of t convolved with x tilde conjugate of t, right. This also a low pass representation, but we need a band pass. Then what you do, you take y tilde of t, multiply with e to the j 2 pi f naught t and take real part of that. So totally I can avoid working with the band pass signals, even though my basic interest is working in the band pass signals. See, one has to work with band pass signal and a band pass system in communication system. But if you work on band pass system with the band pass signal, then it involves a lengthy calculation, okay, and many integrals, very complex integrals. So to avoid that, what you do, you work on with the low pass version of the band pass signal and low pass version of the band pass system's impulse response. Okay, so the advantage actually are I do not have to write these lengthy trigonometric expressions which will always be there in the band pass signal representation, because in the band pass signal representation, if you recall, it is in phase component times cos of 2 pi f naught minus x suffix q quadrature component times sin of 2 pi f naught. So sin 2 pi f naught, cos 2 pi f naught, all these terms will come and will torture us. So instead of doing that, you can simply work on in the low pass version of your band pass signal and the low pass version of your band pass system impulse response, and in shortcut you can get the result. Okay, so I keep on carrying that work, and at the end you can multiply e to the j 2 pi f naught t and take the real part, because this e to the j 2 pi f naught lambda, then e to the j 2 pi f naught t, then e to the j 2 pi f naught t minus lambda. There are many terms involved in the integration. So these all are giving unnecessary mess in the calculation. So therefore these terms are not necessary to carry with us at all in our manipulations. So directly deal with the low pass representations, carry out the manipulations, carry out the mathematics, and even the final result will be this. Simply you multiply e to the j 2 pi f naught t and take the real part of that, because h tilde of t and x tilde of t carry the information. So only concentrate on information part, don't concentrate on the carrier part. That's a moral of the story. Okay, see here, if you do like this, you are working on the information part. See, information is in the h tilde of t and x tilde of t. Merely your sin omega t and cos omega naught t are carrier part, so don't concentrate or spend much energy on that. Okay, so this is just the carrier term to be added. E to the j 2 pi f naught is the carrier term to be added. So I think we will stop here. We will continue at this point in the next class. Thank you very much.